Hello, water signs, and welcome to your daily focus tarot for Monday. The last couple of weeks I've been having a hard time getting cards for you. So I understand you're going through a lot of change, a lot of tough times right now. I have two general advice cards for you. The Nine of Swords. So this is about letting your fears, your anxieties, your worries getting the best of you, even though these worries can't hurt you. Notice how much darker they are, the person in the bed, the person who is resting. They're in the light spot. The light is shining on their bed. It's shining on them. These swords are in the background, hung up on the wall where they can't hurt the person. Okay, you're letting your worries and your anxieties get the best of you, but they can't hurt you. They can't touch you. They're bound to the wall. They're not going anywhere. So this is, in this card also, the person in the bed, you can think of the bed as being like a nurturing place, like a cradle or a womb, a place where you go to get rest and be protected. And these swords are on the wall behind the bed. They're in shadow. There's nothing they can do to harm you. You are protected. And I'll get to that in just a moment further. So keep putting these negative things behind you. Keep putting the negative thoughts behind you. Don't let them destroy your life. Don't let them rule how you behave today or any day. So then we also have forgive. It's time to let go of anger or blame. And you'll notice this child is very innocently hugging the unicorn. So the unicorn is a symbol of purity, of innocence. So is the child. It's a symbol of joy, right? They're in this beautiful landscape, protected by the tree of knowledge, protected by the tree of life. It's got water, it's got sand, it's got fertile green grass, it's got flowers. It's got everything you would need. This is like a Eden, a paradise, right? There are no predators, there are no adults, no mean people, no greedy people, no judgmental people. There is just the unicorn in this child. There is just pure joy, innocence, happiness, everything that you could want. So forgiving, I'm going to say a little bit about that. Forgiving is not the same as forgetting what somebody has done to you. It is not forgiving the person for having done something destructive to you in your life. It is you forgiving the person for not being mature, for not being fully developed, for not being in control. And the reason they're not in control is because they're a wounded child. They're immature. They don't know, they don't understand fully the dynamics of how they've hurt you or someone you love. They're not in a position as a soul to understand what's been done. And even you as a soul may not be in a position to understand fully why this has happened to you. There is the theory that when we come down to earth as a soul, we come down to experience things, both good and bad, and that we agree to, as a soul, experience even the bad things that we experience in life, because they are learning lessons. They are things, experiences that give us the ability to grow, even when they are negative experiences. So if you look at it from that point of view, forgiving what somebody has done to you in this world, knowing that you agreed to go through it, in the other world because it is a learning experience for you. A lot of people will take something that was very painful for them and they will turn it into something that is positive for them and positive for the people around them. You can think of Mother Teresa. She grew up in poverty and hunger. She became a nun, and then she helped thousands of other people who were in poverty and hunger, right? You can think of the person who suffered a loss and started a charity, and that charity has helped thousands to millions of people. The loss was terrible, yes, but they never would have started the charity otherwise. They never would have done a particular form of research otherwise. A lot of people who are psychologists because they have suffered a personal loss or personal tragedy of some kind, and then they decide they want to help people. People in the medical profession, doctors, are the same way. You know, their mom had a disease, or their father or something runs in their family, and they want to do research to help people overcome that type of thing, right? Or they want to help people so they're not suffering as much. So you can look at it as what has happened to you is not only a lesson for you, it is also a spurring on to help others and what can grow out of this. Don't look at what can hold you back or the negativity around it. Look for the positive in it. I hope that made sense. I personally never forgave my abuser for the abuse. I forgave them for not knowing better, not understanding, and I truly believe they didn't understand what they were doing. I still believe they don't understand what they were doing or why they were doing it even. They just did it. It's very hard to do, but ultimately the forgiving, it helps you move on. It doesn't help the abuser. They have to do their own work, right? They have to do their own shadow work. You are doing your shadow work, and that's the important thing, because you're not going to let these situations happen to you again. You're going to learn from them, and then you're going to move on to bigger and better things. So, the Ethereal Visions was the first deck I asked for cards. And I didn't really get clarifiers, so I asked the other two decks for just general advice. That's where the Nine of Swords and the Forgiveness comes in. So the Ethereal Vision's what you should focus on. Knight of Swords. So this is the fastest moving knight. This is the knight. He sees something, he goes after it right away. He's on the offensive. He is using his thoughts to cut through anything that's going to stop him from his goal. And he's very steady in his progress. Even though it's fast progress, it's steady progress. And then we have the Lovers and Temperance. And the Lovers can be about romance, but it can also be about any sort of couple. Be it you and a work partner. Be it you and like a company is your work partner. You and somebody who you are teamed up with in your family to accomplish something. This is also a card of choice. So, choosing between two things. To me, this is you choosing between yourself and a situation. and out with it came temperance. Temperance is about balance. And when you're in that balance, you're in the flow of things. The stuff is flowing, the thread of life. Her life is flowing very easily from one cup to the other and back again, right? She's got that balance. She's got that ability to rise above anything that's not in her highest good. The road is leading to the new day, to the sunrise. She can see the road. She can travel the road, and the road mimics the flow of her life, the flow of her thoughts, the flow of her being, the flow of her actions. Now, I did ask for 2 clarifiers on the Lovers and Temperance together. I actually got 3, and I haven't used this deck very much. I bought it originally for a different purpose than the daily readings. Although I did use it a few times early on because I had a different structure to the daily readings. So I had to go and find this deck. But I was told to use this deck. Hold on. I had to turn on another light. So 3 cards came out together. This is Season of the Witch Samhain deck. This is rooted number 34. So this is talking about it's talking about going through stages in a spiritual journey, but it is also talking about being grounded and being connected. I'll read to you a little from the book. For all 3 of these, you are being asked to dig in deeper. Maintaining deep roots is how you pull yourself from the darkness. It's easy to get grounded or to do your spiritual practice when things are going well. It's an entirely different ballgame when you feel defeated and broken, but the darkest parts of your journey are when you need to be rooted most. So you don't have to think of this in terms of spiritual practice. You can think of it in terms of anything in your life, just your life in general. The real gift of spiritual commitment is found when you feel like your back is against a wall. Don't give up when times are hard. Instead, find nourishment below the surface. So this can also apply to, don't give up when your life is hard. Don't give up when you're experiencing troubles in your life. It's not just, your life is a spiritual journey. I think here they're talking more about like practice, spiritual practice, but this applies to your life too. So maintain connection to your true self, your ancestors, your guides, your trust, and your instincts. Your situation is not hard so that you can give up. It is a call to surrender. This message is amplified if you pulled. Ignore that part. So this is telling you to become firmer in who you are, to base your decision, your choice, your balance on who you are, not on what other people think you should be, not on what society thinks you should be or do. This is about you. Go deeper within yourself. The next card to clarify the Lovers and Temperance was Protection, and you'll notice these 2 cards, they have 3 in them. So protection It says in the book, many of us have had to search out our own safety since beginning our journeys. We've faced criticism, faced jealousy for being true to our paths, and had to withstand attacks from our own egos. Or I would say attacks from outside of yourself, right? But we rise and keep going with fearless determination. We know we have our team to support us and keep us from harm. You are always protected, no matter how scary the world may seem or how many things go bump in the dark night of your soul. Within you is a space that cannot be harmed, penetrated, or shaken. Here you can retreat to heal and find comfort. That's what being rooted is. That's about finding that place where you can heal and find comfort. You need only to step through the veil into the arms of those who love and care for you. If you have drawn protection, know that all is well and you are safe. Your spiritual support team will protect you from harm. You are protected from, and then it lists all sorts of things that could harm you. But I'm also going to read it as being protected from people in a non-witchcraft sense. You are protected from the dangers of your earth-based ego as well. Know that you can handle anything. When you are feeling unsafe, speak to the powers that be, aka your higher self. Go within and speak to your higher self. Become more rooted within yourself. Do like the hermit and look for your own path. Look for your own guidance. If you believe in a higher power, a deity, whatever that power may be, you can speak to that power. This is telling you to do so. And it says they are always walking with you and are ready to provide you with additional support whenever you feel the need to ask. Now the third card from the Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain version, this is Voices. And it says the keywords are encouragement and inner knowing. And you'll notice there are 3 also here. This is kind of like the Weird Sisters, the Fates. So this is voices surround us, but we have to listen carefully. The powers speak to us in so many different ways, encouraging us as we travel along our path. There is a voice that can be found in plants, animals, colors, shapes, winds, and rains. So this is talking about getting messages from your higher self, from spirit, through these things, and to pay attention to them. There are clues offering us guidance and encouragement as we make our way back to the true self. Sorry, I have to take a drink. Spirit speaks to us in these symbols, signs, faint sounds, and subtle cues. Our wise ancestors knew this. They knew everything has something to say for those who know how to listen, not just with their ears, but with their entire body, mind, and soul. This card has come to you as a reminder to listen to the guidance offered by Spirit through your environment. One of the best ways to connect is to go out in nature, ask a question to the wind, and listen for an answer. Perhaps a plant suddenly moves nearby or something floats on the wind just in front of your faces. Ask your question and wait for the powers to answer. Be open-minded about the ways an answer can appear. Something is a sign if you feel a connection to it, no matter how silly it seems. Trust in your ability to receive the language of spirit. The powers that be will see this and offer more to you. So, the clarification for how to get in balance with temperance and the lovers, the choice that you need to make is to go within, to listen to that, to those messages, to the questions that you're asking, to know that you're protected, and to be, to go on your own path, not to follow anybody else's path, okay? The other cards that came out for you were the Ace of Cups and the Sun. Now the Sun is about growth. It's about creativity. It shines the rays, and you see she's directing the ray right down onto your head. This is everything that grows needs sunlight, and it needs sunlight to grow. So the Sun is about the creativity. It's about the growth. It's all about a new beginning with the Aleph symbol here. This is you growing into a new person, growing into a new version of you. The Ace of Cups, this is also about beginnings. It can be about compassion and purity with the emotions flowing. I'll read to you a little bit from the book here. Let me see if I can find it again. Water represents inspiration and dreams as well as love. And here we're talking about self-love. So it can also indicate a time of creative inspiration or the start of a period of fruitful dreaming. Now is the time to foster relationships. And I don't mean necessarily relationships in terms of love or friendship. It can also be relationships in the spiritual world and a better relationship to yourself. To me, this is about a better relationship with yourself, with your higher self. Now is the time to foster relationships and to open yourself to the abundance of warm and nurturing relationships with which you are blessed. So this is talking about having that nurturing relationship with yourself, with your higher self, with, taking those thoughts and memories, making them golden, the ones that are painful, turning them through your creativity, through the flow of your life, into something else with this golden hand. Okay, the bird of thought and memory, through your emotions, through your spirituality, is turned into this golden hand in the material world that is holding this cup. It is balanced, solid ground, these mountains, with this water, with this emotional and spiritual. There's a balance here between the two. And you're going to use your creativity to have this growth. You're going to be cutting through the negative influences in your life, the negative thoughts that are keeping you weighed down. You're going to go within yourself, and you're going to make this choice and find this balance by going within yourself, knowing that you're protected, knowing that nothing can harm you. Nothing can harm you anymore. Listen to your higher self. Listen to, if you believe in higher powers, listen to your higher powers, right? Listen to your deities, etc. Make this choice to have this balance in your life, this flow in your life, okay? Have a good Monday. Sorry for my voice wanting to give out. I'll see you tomorrow.